Hello everyone, we are all set for the big game here today. It's going to be played at the Dubai International Stadium, a game between two of the superstars of Indian cricket, superstars of the world. You're talking about the game between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Mumbai Indians. At the outset, you look at the game, you always feel that this is going to be a humdinger of a game. But sadly, more or less, if you see, you find Mumbai Indians leading Royal Challengers Bangalore on the head to head by a comfortable 16 is to 9 margin. And in the last five games, Mumbai Indians have managed to win four. At the outset, you feel that this could be a very favorable game for Mumbai. But then, having being played at the Dubai International Stadium, is it going to be a difference? Is it going to make a difference in the first place? I think yes. Today, I somewhere feel the captain who's going to win the toss might say that let me bat first. The simple reason being is you've seen teams not able to chase. Yesterday's game was a complete difference. Yeah, you had the team chasing down a record total, but then at Dubai, 160, 175, you do find that the spinners come into play, the slow bowlers come into play. So this could be a game where the captain wins the toss and says, "Let us bat first." Now, before we go further, let's look at the teams for today. We're going to look at the Royal Challengers of Bangalore first up. And now we are going to look at the Royal Challengers of Bangalore. They come into this game after a bit of a thrashing in the last game. They sneak through in the first game. The good part is Royal Challengers are on the board in terms of wins. Now, what's important is can they grab some momentum here? For starters, they'll have to make some combinations. They'll have to change certain members in the squad because they're simply not working properly. I somewhere feel they are not using De Villiers as a keeper. Yes, he's got some chronic backaches, but he's also been having his wicket keeping drills in the last 2 days with Simon Katich. So if De Villiers can keep, what it does is it opens up the spot held by Josh Philippe. It's not that Josh hasn't done well, but it's better off to get a Moeen Ali into the squad. What Moeen Ali adds into this 11 is he gives them the depth in terms of a finisher's role. He can come in handy at number 5 or number 6, can also contribute 4 solid overs of off spin. Remember something, the Mumbai Indians have a fair amount of left-handers in their squad. They're playing 11. You're looking at Quinton de Kock, you're looking at Saurabh Tiwari, you're looking at Krunal Pandya. You can have Moeen Ali and Washington Sundar countering up there. They can pair up and bowl during the middle overs, or possibly use Washington Sundar in the first 6 overs and then Moeen Ali towards the middle part. I think this is where the Royal Challengers will also need to believe in Washington Sundar. He's done no wrong. He's had 10 odd power play wickets when he played in 2017 for the Pune Super Giants. So if Kohli can use Washington Sundar up during the power plays, what it also gives him is it gives him the license to say that look, I am bowling in Washington Sundar, let de Kock attack him. There's always a possibility that de Kock could fail and thereby they grab de Kock's wicket early because de Kock is someone who's going to he's the accelerator in their opening batting order. So that's somewhere I feel they need to show more belief in Washington Sundar. Getting in Moeen Ali, you'll have to drop out Josh Philippe purely because it's a combination that works. AB de Villiers taking care of the wicket keeping duties for today. This will give them a solid middle order. There won't be that much of inexperience. And then one more key aspect is going to be they'll have to look at Isru Udana coming in for Dale Steyn. I think Dale Steyn has been leaking runs. He's not the Dale Steyn of the old. Age has definitely caught him up. With due respect to him, I somewhere feel Udana will also bring in the variations that they need at the death overs. He's a very good death over bowler. And one more change that I foresee is dropping Umesh Yadav and getting in Mohammad Siraj. I think there's been a lot written about Umesh Yadav not being at his best. I think Mohammad Siraj, give him an option. He also leaks runs, but they really don't have an option. Above all, you'll have to have Kohli bat at number 3 and AB de Villiers at number 4. There can't be a better middle order than these two in terms of current form and situation that they are in. Kohli has to fire. He's unfortunately had 2 bad games. You don't normally see Kohli having such bad games, but I'm sure he's all set to bounce back. He's a class player. He's the king in terms of white ball cricket. You've definitely got someone there. All in all, if they can make these 3 changes, I somewhere feel that the Royal Challengers Bangalore will become stronger. They're a team that gets pumped up with a lot of passion, a lot of fan following. If this can be the team and they win the toss, they'll have to bat first. I'll tell you something. They win the toss, they bat first. Put 175 runs on the board. There's always going to be scoreboard pressure for any team that's chasing. All in all, this is what I foresee for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Let's see how it goes. Now let's have a look at the lineup that Royal Challengers Bangalore would have. And now we are going to look at the defending champions, the lineup for Mumbai Indians for today. Mumbai Indians seem to have got a very settled squad. not much of an issue at all. They don't really seem to have any grappling issues. The Nathan Coulter-Line isn't fit yet, so they'll have to continue with James Pattinson and Bolt. For all you know, James Pattinson and Bolt have done a wonderful job. They've held their nerves. They've bowled very tight lines. It's more of test match line that they've bowled. All in all, I've got very little to say about Mumbai Indians from a team perspective. Decock and Sharma opening, they both have scored runs. One thing that they might want to change is see how they use Saurabh Tiwari, because Saurabh Tiwari is taking some time to get in. Maybe if Mumbai Indians lose their second wicket by the 11th or 12th over, then get in a Krunal or a Hardik Pandya. And one more all-rounder that I'm keen to look at is Krunal Pandya. He was rusty in the first two games, but he's got some big role to play in today's game. He's got a very big role, surely because he can entice the batsman there and get wickets. Krunal Pandya and Rahul Chahar bowling in tandem, leg spinners against Kohli and De Villiers. They're two players who do struggle a bit when the ball turns away from them. So we've got to see how that goes. And I think today we'll also be able to see if Pollard bowls, because Pollard's bowling would be of more effect, especially in Dubai. Slightly slower, longer boundaries. You never know. There can be a catch coming up here and there. It's a team that's almost settled. Nothing much to worry about. They always tend to build up as the tournament goes. They've had a bad start as always, but they've picked up. They just steamrolled KKR in the last game. So the Mumbai Indians 11 seems more or less set. I don't anticipate any changes given that Coulter-Nile isn't fit. All in all, it's a perfect lineup. It's all about Rohit Sharma and his instincts. He believes in the matchup. So there's a lot of combinations that come into play when Mumbai play the RCB. Let's see how Mumbai go ahead. And this is the squad that I perceive for Mumbai Indians for today's game. Now that we've seen the lineups, predicted lineups for both RCB and the Mumbai Indians, we've got a new segment today. We are looking at key player battles, or what we call as key matchups. You normally see these matchups being played as and when the game progresses. You have a new batsman coming in, a power hitter coming in, or a bowler who is someone who knows to contain. In these two lineups, you've got certain matchups like that. The first matchup is a very big matchup. It's the matchup between Krunal Pandya and AB de Villiers. At the outset, you might think that, look, AB de Villiers shouldn't have a problem in scoring against any batsman for that matter. And Krunal Pandya is an all-rounder. He's more of a left-arm spinner. Do you really find it to be a matchup? Well, guess what? In 6 innings that these two have faced, Krunal Pandya has managed to get AB de Villiers dismissed for 4 times. And what's more, he's managed to contain AB de Villiers to run a ball. Now that's perhaps very surprising. That shows that this is a very big matchup. And as soon as you've seen it in the last 2-3 years, whenever AB de Villiers comes into the crease, you immediately have Rohit Sharma ringing in the changes, getting Krunal Pandya to bowl at him, and within the span of 12 balls or 15 balls, you see AB de Villiers perishing. So that's a huge matchup. If de Villiers manages to counter attack Krunal Pandya, then you're looking at RCB gaining an advantage there. But if they lose to Krunal Pandya, or if AB de Villiers manages to get out, then it again puts a dent into RCB's hopes. So that's one big matchup. The other matchup is going to be about how Royal Challengers of Bangalore are going to manage Chahal. Yuzvendra Chahal has a fabulous record against Kieron Pollard. You look at his record against Kieron Pollard in 8 innings, he's given only 49 runs across 38 or 40 deliveries. So you're looking at again less about a runner ball or slightly more than a runner ball scoring. Pollard doesn't get to play Chahal very well. He's also dismissed him 4 times. So it means that would RCB hold back Chahal and wait for Pollard, because not just Pollard, even Hardik Pandya hasn't managed to score that much of Chahal. So Hardik Pandya has batted about 17 balls and got only 19 runs against Chahal. So when Hardik Pandya and Pollard come in, so you're looking at the fall of the second, third, or the fourth wicket. When these two players come in, would RCB want to hold Chahal for an over or so? Because that would also give them an idea about how they can get one of these two players out before the match goes into the 19th or 20th over, because that's where both of these players are extremely destructive. It also means from a strategy point of view, they might have to hold back Chahal. Same way, another matchup that we are all eager to watching for is going to be Trent Bolt versus Kohli. The last two games in the IPL, Kohli has got out to left-handers, he got out to Natarajan, he got out to Sheldon Cottrell. This could be another instance, and Kohli has been slightly uncomfortable when he's playing, especially right into the initial part of his innings. He does find it a bit difficult to play against left armers, and with Bolt's tendency to get the ball back in, it's going to be interesting to see. Kohli versus Bumrah is another battle. Kohli is held fourth there, but Kohli versus Bolt is going to be a very critical battle. All in all, two very big matchups, a couple of other matchups that are going to be of interest. This game sets to be a power packed game. Let's hope we have another thriller today, and let's may the best team win as always.